Hey guys, it's MikeGoG with another King Arthur Legends Rise video. Today we're going to jump into Restricted Area and over in the Sealed Temple, and we're going to step up our speed farming teams. It's been a while since I've actually looked at my teams and how far we're moving through here. I actually don't really even farm Master of Death anymore because I have all of my passive skills on all of my champions, common all the way through Legendary, completely maxed out. So I don't use these to go through here. But we're going to go ahead and take a peek at this team anyway and just go through with one, because you get six attacks per day. But we're at a minute 43 currently. If we look at the best teams out there, they're going to be 33 seconds, 35 seconds, 40 seconds. So hopefully we could step up this pretty well. I'd have to take a peek and see which one of these teams makes the most sense for me. Looking at this one, we're at level 128, probably has some really strong gear on that particular group. And this one here probably seems a little more my speed for the 2 seconds of time, plus the overall power ranking. This is probably going to be a little closer to what I'm looking to do. So we got a Lagartha lead with the Frost Relic. We got Caliburn Arthur with the Flame, Storm on Morgan, and Frost Relic on our Aqua Guinevere. So I'm going to go ahead and put that team together, and we're going to see how we do. If you want to further break down what they've got going on here, it'll show you the gear they're running. It's actually a broken set. I thought I had a focus set here, but it's broken set on Lagartha. But she's in an Ascension and accuracy. I would imagine he's in Ascension and damage, and then Strife, which probably not going to matter on this boss because once he kills him, he's dead. And then we've got a 4-star piece of gear here on the Morgan with Vigor and Accuracy. So not even super. A couple of 4-star pieces actually there. Really on Morgan, you're just looking to have her go fast and have good accuracy. And then we're looking for Ascension and damage on Aqua Guinevere as well. So we're going to go ahead and put that same team together and give it a shot and see where we end up. So a couple notables here is I'm at Chivalry level 8 and 7 on these characters here, whereas I believe on the other ones they were maxed out or probably higher than that. But I feel like we should be able to get a pretty decent showing with this team, seeing how they did it before. So I don't know what the speeds were on all their players and all that stuff, so we're going to give it a shot, just go right on auto. So I did have to back out actually to get this thing dialed in. So on Lagartha's ability on her A3, she's going to be doing the Pierce on Bull's favorite allies. Which I think she's the only one, so that may not actually be that big of a benefit to get that Pierce going on there. Hit accuracy increase on every ally there, and then heals each. And then on her A2, let's see here, I think she does the crit rate increase for every ally and debuff immunity, heal each ally. So I'm thinking we're probably going to go with her A2 here. Maybe we'll do something like that just to see. But I don't know that Pierce is really going to benefit anybody but her because she's the only Bull favorite ally. On Arthur, I think we're going to go A2 across the board. As long as we have that debuff, we get the added smack 204%. And then the Stygian Aura gets an additional 5 hits every other time. So that's just something he's going to be able to really smack down. I think that's with his passive 2. With the Stygian Aura, when attacking while he has that on, he gets an additional 5 targets, 215% damage. If we move over to this is a pretty good AoE damage, but we're coming down to 140%, so we're probably going to stick to his A2. On Morgan, we're going to stick to her A2. This is where she's going to bring in that extra defense decrease for 2 turns, and then on her, I think it's past or active 2, maybe not. Maybe it's the 3rd one. There it is. When attacking, she has a chance to do defense decrease as well as damage increase for every 3rd turn she takes. She's able to put that on. So it'll be a stacked on top of the other one. So we're going to be knocking out her A2. On Aqua Guinevere, we're going to go with the A2 first. This actually allows her to put attack increase on herself. And then we move over to the A3. Where she's going to do additional damage on that as that goes. So we'll go back and forth on those skills. So that should be pretty much all we need to do to get this thing dialed in. So let's go ahead and run it. I think our current time was like a minute 40. So we're going to go right in here, hit it onto auto mode here, and we're going to get these guys moving forward and see if we can get this knocked out. So we're going to come on in here on auto mode and see what we got going on. I think you have to attack his legs first, because it won't do damage to the body. So we're going to go ahead and do that there. And we're coming in strong there. I'd be curious to get the time frame they're looking at if Caliburn Arthur basically has to kill him. Although that was pretty quick the way that all played out. but you do need to select the leg first. If you do select the body, I don't think it's going to go through that quickly. And I'm assuming on this one we're going straight after Cernunos right away and see if we can knock him down. We're almost there. What is our time? We're already at 1:30. We're not even close. So that kind of tells you the kind of gear that those folks are running. Probably have a lot more damage coming out of their Caliber and Arthur. That wasn't even my best time as far as other teams that I put together. So not a huge win there. So we jump out into here and take a peek. You see their overall power ranking. I guarantee my Aqua Guinevere is not at 13,000. My Caliber and Arthur's probably over 12.8 though. So we check out our heroes over here. My Caliber and Arthur's at 13.4 and she's at 11. So that's my biggest opportunity, is getting Aqua Guinevere up to the 13. But let's go ahead and switch gears, because they did also have the team that was all Frost with Tristan, and my Tristan is on level 70. So let's go ahead and give that a shot and see if that speeds me up a little bit. And then moving over to the Frost Relics, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing again. With Lagartha, we did go with the A2. That's just single target damage with the Frost Relic there, where we get 204% of attack. And then he gets the extra hits with the passive. And then on Morgan, again, just cross it with the A2. That's where she's going to get the extra ability to drop damage taken increase 2 for 3 turns. And then on Tristan, we're going straight A3, which is where he does the most damage as well. So we're going to go ahead and give that a shot and see if we do a little better. So again, we're going to come in. We're going to actually select one of the legs here. Make sure that we're doing what we need to do, take him down, and then hopefully we can get through him. I'm trying to think if there's a way to, like, so he went back and forth, both legs. He finally dropped. Hopefully Tristan can take him out. So that was actually quicker, that route. But I got to feel there's a way for Caliber and Arthur to take him out directly, because otherwise, I mean, we're already at 57 seconds. So 35 seconds to get through this is pretty impressive. So we're going to go through here, and there. Hey, that was pretty quick. That might have set a new record for us. So potentially by getting a little bit more stats going on, my Aqua Guinevere, that would speed us up. Got down to 1:22, which again, I'm not farming this, but I think that is probably going to be a pretty fast time as far as where I'm at with the gear I have on my account. But let's move on over to the other side of Sealed Temple, which is the Master of Apocalypse, and this is actually where I farm every day. So let's see what we can do to make this team better and make me zip through here a little bit quicker. So we look at some of these teams we got going on here. You're at 1:15 after 8 turns. Pretty high as far as power ranking goes, but I do have that team. I think there's one down here that might make a little more sense for me. But judging from what the power ranking is right over here, that's your total power score if you add up all of your players. This one is actually fairly low, even though the level is at 117. A lot of these are a little bit higher. It just means they have stronger gear, higher chivalries, all the things. So this would be kind of the lowest hanging fruit as far as that goes. So we're going to go Storm across the board, except for Anya. We're in the Frost Relic. So we'll give that a shot and see how we are when the dust settles. So another opportunity for me on mine is my Storm Guinevere is actually only on level 50. Pretty sure I have all of the updated skills on that. Let's double check and see where we're at with that relic. So we do have, let's see here, advance, that's not what I want, awaken, skill up. Yeah, so we are maxed out on the skills, but we don't have it. What am I even looking at? I'm looking at Flame. That's not it. Where is Storm? Okay, so Storm, we have it on level 50. Advance, we could actually advance it almost. Awaken, and then skill up. It is maxed out on skills. But we do have 10 levels to get on there. Now, she's actually not going to be doing a lot of damage. She's basically there to prevent Comcroc from taking your champions away. So we're going to go ahead and give this a shot. All right, as we jump into their abilities, we're going to again knock out the A2 for Arthur. That's his single target damage spot that we're going to go for. A2 across the board for Morgan. On Guinevere, we're going to go with her A2. We don't want to waste the vigor on her. She could potentially do some more damage with the charge attack, but we're trying to get through here quick, and that's going to kind of, it's taking vigor and it's going to take a while to develop. But the last 2 hits does have the ability to bring damage dealt decrease. So that's going to be how much damage Comcroc's doing to us. If it was damage dealt increase, then that would be pretty good because we could do a little more damage to him. But on the A2 here, we're going to be getting the shield from Guinevere and then a little bit of damage to go with that. And then on Anya over here, we're going to do A2, then A3. The A2, she's going to pick, hey, stop that. we're gonna go into here and take a peek, and she got some stuff going on here, but the big thing going on is on her passive skill. When using skill 2, she's gonna go ahead and get that counter attack on the team, so we want to get that on right away, and then moving to skill 3. Depending on how fast he goes through the first wave of Cromcroc, it could make sense to actually A2 and then A3, because you do pick up a couple benefits over here with the A3 as far as perks to the team, but I don't know it's going to help you do any more damage. So probably A2s across the board might be a little bit faster, because if you move to the second wave and you do A3 first, it's going to slow your team down. But we're going to start here and see how this goes. So our current best time that we have on here is actually 1 minute and 38 seconds. So we're going to see if we can speed that up just a little bit. And we'll jump on here just right in auto here. We're going to see if Cromcroc didn't take anybody. So usually he'll take Guinevere, or like, I don't know if it's 50-50 or however frequently that happens. We did get that first hit done for Caliburn Arthur, so that's pretty good. I think we're probably ahead of schedule there. And then we can come in here and see. So realistically, that right there should have been an A2 that gets Counter-Strike, but they do have Counter-Strike because I think at the start of battle, she automatically puts it up. So we'll see if we get some counters here. We should. We only got a counter from her, though. That's kind of unfortunate. Although I don't see Counter-Strike wasn't... Oh, there it is right... Oh, maybe she just put it on. She just put it on. But if we had Counter-Strike on it already, this might already be over. So we're going to go ahead and swap that out and see if we can speed that up just a little bit. All right, so we made that adjustment right there. We're going to go ahead and put it on auto and see if we can speed this thing back up a bit and get through him just a little bit faster. All right, so pretty solid getting through the first wave with that first attack from Caliburn Arthur. Is pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with that, to be honest with you. I'm not getting any counter strikes out of that first hit though, which is kind of interesting. Not real sure, but yeah. So I feel like we should be getting counter strikes already, but we're doing the A2 right there to get that up on the team again. There goes some counter strikes, but it's still not super fast. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, well, we're attacking. Oh, we were countering the eyeball. So we actually did better the other way around. I think it's because at the beginning of battle, Anya automatically does the counter strike. So doing the damage, I think if we actually just take this off and go straight to the A3, that might be the way to go. All right, so with this, Anya actually puts the counter strike on for 2 turns, so it doesn't matter if she really runs her A2 or not. It's going to be there for the duration of the battle. The key thing is whether or not Morgan's landing her ability or attack or damage dealt increase as well as defense down. That's going to be the crucial part where Caliburn Arthur can actually do a little more damage. So on her counter strike, she has the ability to land that if it's a third cooldown, or during her A2 she can land that. So I think on this one here we might actually do pretty well. The counter strike actually slowing us down because we're attacking the eyeballs as well, and that is going to take a little extra time to kill those guys off, even though not really helping us defeat the boss. But we're at 2 minutes and 3 seconds, which I don't think actually even sped us up. My fastest time I think was 1:38. So potentially with the right RNG, it might actually speed us up and get us there. But it is actually, as far as like the first wave, significantly faster than what I've been doing. And the other piece of that puzzle too is I do believe that it is consistently faster. Like a lot of times with the other, I wish it told you what team your record was set with, because I don't, I've fought him so many different ways that I don't even know what team hit that 138. But that being said, I constantly get to that second wave where he goes into that invincibility mode and I have to go through an entire cycle of turns before I get to kill him. Whereas it seems like this time with this team, every time it's going to be before that. So across the board, I think I am going to be consistently faster with this team than I was with the previous one. But it is going to be RNG heavy as far as landing certain debuffs at certain times. So you can see here I landed, I think, all that I could get right there, which is pretty good. And then Caliburn Arthur takes him out. That gets us, I'm trying to think where our time, we're at 27 seconds moving on to the second phase. So we come right after the boss there. There we got actually some counter strikes there, which is pretty good. We got 2 defense downs there. We need his Stygian Aura to reset so that we could smack him. But if we were able to reset that ability, I think that it would actually go pretty quick because it could go right after him. But we should be at a point where we're getting there. But we're, guys, 138 is past. It would just maybe speeding him up slightly would be the move. If I could get Caliburn Arthur just a little bit faster so he gets those turns ahead of time. that would be enough to actually take a turn cycle away from Cromcroc, and that would give me that time I'm looking for. But again, he didn't get to that invincibility mode, so I think overall that will speed up my runs quite a bit. Which is nice, you know, you try to figure out how to make the game faster when you're doing your daily chores. And if we go ahead and take a quick peek at those champions I was using, we got Caliber and Arthur. All of his relics are fully maxed out with all the 6-star 60 as well as all the skill ups are maxed out as well, so it didn't matter which one I was using. The gear that I have on him, let's take a peek at that so you can see it. We'll go into equipment and put it on there. We got him in Ascension plus damage and a strife set. Everything is 6 stars. So theoretically it should be pretty strong. My attack is at 7,600 to get myself out of the way so you can see all the stats here. Really trying to drive that attack and the crit damage. Probably could benefit from some extra crit rate, although some of the debuffs that come on are going to actually put extra crit rate on him, so you may not need to build that as high. And then definitely want to get him in that Pierce banner to get him to ignore some of that defense as he goes through. So that's our Caliber and Arthur. Oops. And we come back into Morgan. Again, all the relics are fully maxed out with the skill ups and so forth. So it doesn't matter which one I use. They're all going to be dialed in. And then on her equipment, really just trying to get her as fast as I can. I have my Morgan at 334 as well as her accuracy as high as you can. At 99, probably could do a little better, but really just focusing on her speed. You see I got a 5-star piece of gear here, but it does have 1 roll of speed. I could probably actually find a better one, get a little more effect accuracy with 6 stars and get 2 or maybe even 3 rolls of speed going on there. But on her speed rolls, I got 2 on the helmet, I got 3 on the chest plate, 3 on the boots. I think I've got 3 on the pendant, 2 on the earrings, and we got her in attack speed there. So not a lot of wiggle room for me to speed her up, really. Like, she's running pretty fast unless I were going to move her into a speed set, which potentially could be a benefit. Just getting her in speed set with the accuracy, and that would be pretty good as long as I was running her alongside like Nika or somebody that's resetting vigor or doing some vigor enhancements. But the problem is you run her along Caliber and Arthur. Caliber with without being in a vigor set, he's going to need that extra vigor on his turn. And then for Anya, we got kind of the same thing going on. All the relics are maxed out with the skill ups, and they're on 6-star 60, so it doesn't really matter which way I go in that space. And then we'd be looking at her equipment. And for her, you try to bring up her effect resistance because she gets damage out of that plus her attack. I put a lot more energy and emphasis on her effect resistance. I haven't actually looked at this build in a while. I've got her in a counter strike plus resistance and damage. So, you know, I don't know. She isn't a Pierce banner, but it's only a 5-star, so probably some opportunities there. But yeah, I haven't really played with that build in a while, but it seemed to be pretty effective. And then moving over to Tristan, we got him in damage and vigor, and going again with his attack up as pretty high as we could get it, as well as his damage. He does, in some of the cases, actually stack some damage off of speed, so having him a little faster would be a good way to get a little more damage out of him and make him a little more effective across the board. So you could jump into a 6-star piece of speed gear there, maybe move him into speed instead of attack percentage on the ring. Let's see what we got. We got attack percentage and probably attack percentage across the board, so I could probably get him into some speed there, try to maintain 6,000 plus on the attack, and then probably move him into an Ascension set as well, away from the vigor, and that would get me a little more attack going on that end, and I could get some speed too, so get a little more damage out of my Tristan. But again, one of those builds I really haven't messed with in a while. And then last but not least, we were looking at actually we got both Guinevere's. So we have Guinevere here. Tristan's, all of his relics are dialed in as well. We did look at the Storm relic for Guinevere was 5-star 50, but outside of that, the skills were maxed out. And then we did have the equipment going on here. Kind of, you know, a couple 5-star pieces there. Let's see what we got. We got HP, probably should be defense. HP, probably should be defense. She gets damage off of her defense, so this is actually a pretty bad build for my Guinevere. It could probably do a lot better. Here we got effect accuracy, speed, and HP. Again, moving to defense would be a lot better. So I think her shields are based off her defense, and then she also gains attack damage based off her defense. So a lot of opportunities there to work on my Guinevere. And then moving over to Aqua Guinevere, she also has a lot of opportunities. She's on level 65, could level her up to 68. As far as that goes, she's in damage, 2 damages and safeguard set. That's kind of random. I probably didn't have enough to get her an ascension set. That's probably why she's the way that build is. But we got HP, should be attack percentage, crit damage, not bad. Probably should be attack percentage. Attack percentage on that guy there. We're sitting on attack plus attack percentage 3 roll. It's only 5 stars though. And then we got attack speed. And what do we got over here? Crit rate. So probably get her in Pierce would be a big win there. Ascension set with damage or 3 damage sets would be better than Safeguard. I'm not sure why she's in a Safeguard set. Must just be what I had on the account. And then getting her an attack percentage kind of across the board over here I think would be a much better solution for her. And then obviously I got a couple chivalries I got to get on her too. But that's not too bad. As we go into her settings or her stats, we got her over here. Crit damage pretty high. Crit rate could be a little higher. Speed, probably could try to speed her up a little bit and get her attack up significantly because that is actually lacking the most. So that's probably her biggest area of opportunity right there. But I think that's about what I got for you today. Just kind of horsing around my account, seeing what I could do to speed up my daily process. I'm probably going to launch another video about going through your dailies and just seeing how long it actually takes me to get them done. So we'll go ahead and put that video out coming up. It doesn't seem to be a lot going on in the game. We are waiting for that 1-year anniversary video or update. So hopefully it's strong. They did a pretty big update at a 100-day anniversary and then the 6-month half-year anniversary. So I gotta feel like they're gonna do something for the 1 year, but it kind of feels like they might be fizzling out, which is really unfortunate. But there's some stuff on the roadmap that hasn't come out yet with the new story mode and some other things, so hopefully they got that up their sleeve for the 1-year anniversary. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me all the way to the end here, and I look forward to seeing you next time.